Hello, class, and welcome to assignment 13. Wow, the time really flies. So this assignment is going to prepare us for our final assignment, which we have coming just around the corner. For our final assignment, we're going to be making a program cover and a poster of an actual event. For this assignment, we're going to learn how to plan to do designs and layouts for that sort of thing through the use of thumbnails, roughs, and comprehensives, and we'll explain all of that in the next few videos. Now, something I really need to reinforce on this, and I'll say it throughout the whole video set, if you don't like what you did on this assignment, you don't have to do it for your final. They don't have to be connected. This is just to show you ways to think through things. And every semester that I've done this assignment, the final projects have been much better. So I'm going to continue along with this with the hopes that you all pick something up. Now, that said, this is the least computer graphics-y assignment that you will have all semester. It's actually perfectly possible to do this assignment entirely with pen and paper if necessary, except really the last step, you should be using text from your computer if you don't plan on doing handwriting, but we'll get more into that as it goes through. So the idea is pretty straightforward. In order to do planning for something, you need to just kind of work it out, and we're going to use something called thumbnails, roughs, and comprehensives, or comps. Now, we're going to do 25 thumbnails, and while they don't take very long to do, as you can see, they're not detailed drawings, they're just little doodles, they do start to add up. This whole assignment can take around 4 to 6 hours pretty easily, so do assign some time, put some time aside to work on this. If you have a scanner or a camera that can take decent photos, then you can do this all on paper if you'd like, or you can do it all in Sculpey, or you could paint it. However you want to do it's fine. I'm going to demonstrate how to do it in Photoshop. I'm going to use a mouse as much as possible, because I know some of you are using trackpads on your laptop, which is a terrible way to work, but you can still do this assignment even with that. So we're going to do some thumbnails. We're going to circle in red with the pencil tool, not the brush tool, but the pencil tool. Pick 4 of them that we like. Do more detailed versions of them called roughs, so that we can get an idea of where things would go, how they might look. And then from there, we would do a comprehensive or comp. That's even more detailed versions that we can start going further. Now, these are super useful when you're working with clients, because you can have them sign off on things like, this is the font, this should look something like this, it should have these many pieces, all that stuff. Then they can't get you on the hook later for stuff that you didn't agree to. So these are super, super, super useful. I highly recommend making them. And just to give you an idea, this is what the poster ended up looking like, which wasn't too far off from the comprehensive. So you can see, the thought process that went into it, and then eventually where it all goes. And this is from the New Music Concert in 2018. It's a good concert. I always recommend the New Music Concert at Modesto Junior College if you've never tried it. It's one of those hidden gems that we have around campus. Now, to show you that these can look like all kinds of things, so that you don't just get the idea that it has to look like the one that I'm going to demonstrate over the next few videos, I've gone ahead and grabbed some of the student examples from the last couple of times. And so, as an example, you can see that things fell a little bit out on this, but it still worked out pretty well. I do want everything in the thumbnails folder, the roughs folder, and the comps folder. Don't have things leaked out. But let me show you this. I thought this was very successful overall. Thumbnails, he just used his phone, I believe, took a quick photo of it. This was fine. I was able to see it. He leveled it a bit, used curves so that I could see what's going on. Then he grabbed some roughs. Unfortunately, he put these in subfolders. Did not need to do that, but let me show you what those look like. There we go. See how overly complicated that is? I just need the one thing. So there's one. There's another one. I think these are just lovely. These are spot on for rough. This is where you want to be for rough. And this one's the most detailed one. It's the one he started to get into. And here's his comp. And he was using the golden ratio to place things, which I thought was pretty cool. And let me turn off the rough. And there we go. All right, and the comps. And here was his comprehensive. And he wrote out all the important text. Everything was in place. That looked great. And when all was said and done, he did stick with this one for his final. And this was the poster that he came out with. Notice he moved some of the text around. He picked a great font, I think. I think this was a very successful assignment all the way through, and you can see how he thought his way through everything. So I think that was quite successful. But again, you don't have to do the same final as this assignment, and I try to make that as clear as possible. That is not a requirement. So if you decide you don't like it, you don't have to stick with it. These are just a few that worked out very well. So for demonstrative purposes, we've got single thumbnails scan, red pencil. It's for favorite. This is very clear. These are great thumbnails. These are absolutely marvelous. Great detail on them. Did his 4 roughs. That's so cute. Then did his comprehensive. I gave him some feedback and some things to do with it. And then from here, this was another one. I cherry picked these. These are ones that the students did decide to use for their final project. Here's what the final looked like. And I think this is just a beautiful way to do a poster for a kid's readathon. And you can see how he planned it all out and worked it all out. So I think that is another very successful one. Let's close that up. Let's show you another one. Whoops, this one's got some text. You'll want to flatten these out. So what you'd want to do in this case is, not close it by accident with Control W. Do watch out for that. And you don't want to lose points on this. This is what gets everybody every time. Like, I just need the one. It needs to be in the folder. So it'd be like that. All right, but this is another great one. Let me show you. Looks absolutely wonderful. So roughs also fell out. Let's pop those back in. Okay, and thumbnails. Turn on the thumbnail. Okay, one more that's in there. All right, turn off the roughs. So we've got thumbnails. She did these on 2 pages. She picked her 4 favorites off the first page. Notice that she labeled them. You do want to do that. And so you've got all of 25 thumbnails for this assignment. It's a lot of thumbnails. Then we've got the roughs. These are great roughs. These are spot on. This one's especially wonderful. This is what you want to be doing for your roughs. So don't get too bogged down by the details. And we've got an excellent comp going on here. A little more detail at this stage would have been good. I think that the roughs were going quite well. And then from there, we have the... hopefully I grabbed it. Yes, I did. We've got the poster. This is an absolutely marvelous poster. Look how well that turned out. I think that this was very successful. All the logos are in place. Looks quite good. And you can see that she decided not to use the comp that she initially went for, but instead went back to this one, which I think was a very, very good decision. I think it was very successful to go through. So another A piece of work. Absolutely marvelous. I want to show you just about 4 more of these, and then I'll let you go into how to do it. Here's another excellent one. Turn off the roughs and the comp. So we've got the thumbnails, and again, this is sufficient. This was a scan, I believe, on a flatbed scanner, and you can do this all in Photoshop. That's how I'm going to show you how to do it, but if you have other tools, feel free to use them. And circled in red in Photoshop with the red pencil, the 4 that he was interested in. And we got the roughs. Got some great roughs. And then an absolutely marvelous comp. Great job assembling the photos and pieces on it. And put the placeholder where the text would be. This is what I'm looking for. This is great. And then we've got the final poster, which decided to go a different path. And I think this worked out really well with the horizontal layout. Absolutely marvelous. All right. Just a couple more. By a couple, I mean 3. Here's another great one. So we've got the thumbnails. These are excellent thumbnails. Look how good these thumbnails are. Look at that. I think they used a ruler and they penciled, and she did just an amazing job. All right, and then she circled with the Photoshop red pencil the 4 that she liked best, went in and did 4 roughs, and I'm zoomed in way too close. Here we go. Made sure that these filled pretty much the whole page. Do leave your white background, call it background. That way you can see everything. Maybe leave a note for yourself for that. These were looking marvelous. I think she picked the best one. It's the Fiesta. And here's how it ended up looking. Let me make sure I get the right last name. Here we go. I think it's very nice, very professional. I would have liked these yellow dots repeated up at the top, but maybe behind this flag and in front of that one would have been great. But otherwise, this is spot on. Really, really like it. All right. Very good. And again, you don't have to do these for your you don't have to use this assignment for your final. You can just do your final. But I like to think that planning is useful. All right. We've got 2 more. Really want to show you. I think this one turned out really well. We've got a scan of the thumbnails. These are great thumbnails. Much cleaner than my thumbnails. We've got the roughs, and they did the roughs on 1 page. And you can see, again, pencil scan worked out really well. It's still legible. I think at this point, it would have been good to go in on it and level it a bit so that I could see it a little bit more. Be a little tricky, but doable. And then once you can see it a bit more easily, it's always good. Oh, I see. It's not actually scanned. I see the shadow from their camera. So it's a camera shot. All right. And we've got finally the comp, and look at this beautiful comp. This is just an absolutely amazing composition, or comprehensive. It's a great composition too. Very, very good work. And they did end up using this for their final. And here is his final poster. And it came out very similar, some slight changes, but you can see that a lot of his planning went on at this stage, which allowed him to do an even stronger poster at the end. So I thought that one was quite good. And last but not least, and we've got some suggestions I made on moving things around. All right, we've got thumbnails. And here we have 5 thumbnails. Here we have the other 20 thumbnails. Fortunately, they circled it in black. I did want red for these. And you can see why now. It's a lot easier for me to spot which ones are being used. Okay, Control H to hide their guides. You shouldn't have any guides at that point when you turn it in. And then there's great roughs. Again, he decided here to use pencil, and I think they worked out very well. Put in all the text to make sure it would fit. And once they had one that they liked, he went ahead and pushed everything together. Beautiful job illustrating this. Really quite excellent. And I should have the final. And here is the final. And you can see that from the rough to the final, they worked off of it. So it gave them a head start when they were getting in there. And I think that this was a fairly successful poster as well. All right. And did I keep... Oh, I don't have the original. This student picked a really excellent poster, had nothing to do with the assignment 13, and that's fine. And so I just wanted to say that one more time. You do not have to do the same poster for your final that you're planning here. So don't worry about that. Now, let's get into the nitty gritty of what's going on. I probably ramble a little bit. This is a set of fairly long videos. You'll notice there aren't as many of them, but buckle in. They take a little while to get through. It's me mostly demonstrating how to do this. If you get the idea, though, if you've done this sort of thing before, you can skip on down to the last video. I show how to assemble it, make sure everything is correct. And yeah, if you have any questions, of course, ask me. I'll be more than happy to answer them. And otherwise, I will see you in the next video.